HS2, Britain's controversial high-speed railway, is proving to be a costly mistake. With an estimated cost of £100 billion and rising, the project has been criticized for its exorbitant budget, delays, and lack of public consultation. In this video, we'll examine why HS2 has been such a failure for Britain and what can be done to turn it around. So do subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video for more informational videos like this. Without any further delay, let's dive in. The high cost of HS2. HS2, or High Speed 2, is a proposed high-speed railway that is set to cost a whopping £100 billion. It is the most expensive public infrastructure project in British history and has been heavily criticized for its immense cost. According to the National Audit Office, the projected cost of HS2 has increased from an initial estimate of £32.7 billion in 2010 to over £100 billion. In addition, the project is expected to cost at least another £30 billion in indirect costs. This extraordinary amount of money is expected to be funded by taxpayers and public funds. In the past few years, there's been growing pressure on the government to reduce the cost of HS2. This has led to several cost-cutting measures being implemented, such as cutting the number of trains running on the line and reducing the maximum speed limit. However, these measures have not been enough to bring down the overall cost of the project. The high cost of HS2 has been further compounded by several delays. The original target completion date was 2026, but this has since been pushed back by 7 years to 2033. This means that taxpayers will continue to foot the bill for the project for at least another decade. As a result, HS2 has become a major source of contention for many people in Britain who are skeptical about its ability to deliver value for money. Recent reports indicate that even with the cost-cutting measures, HS2 may still be unable to meet its performance targets. For instance, the latest projections suggest that it will only achieve half of its forecast capacity when it is fully operational. Furthermore, some critics have questioned whether HS2 is necessary in the first place. They argue that existing rail networks could be improved upon instead of spending billions on new ones. While HS2 does offer some benefits, such as faster journey times between London and Birmingham, its current huge price tag could arguably be better spent elsewhere. Finally, it remains unclear whether HS2 will ever be completed given the current economic climate. If it does eventually get built, it may very well turn out to be a huge waste of taxpayer money due to its excessively high cost and poor performance. Therefore, both local governments and taxpayers must be made aware of all potential risks associated with the project before it moves forward any further. The negative environmental impact of HS2. HS2 has been subject to criticism from environmental groups since its inception. It has been estimated that the railway will cause damage to up to 5,000 hectares of countryside and a further 3,500 hectares of woodland. This includes some of the most important habitats in the UK, such as ancient woodlands and sites of special scientific interest, or SSSIs. In addition, it will have a significant impact on air quality, water courses, and soil quality. The wildlife trusts have warned that HS2 could fragment habitats and lead to an increase in human activity in protected areas, which would put wildlife at risk. Furthermore, the project would require felling many trees, causing further damage to wildlife habitats. HS2 has also been criticized for failing to meet sustainable transport standards. The increased capacity of the line would lead to more cars being taken off the roads, but HS2 would not significantly reduce the amount of carbon emitted from transport. This is due to the fact that HS2 trains run on diesel fuel and electric energy, both of which come from non-renewable sources. In addition, HS2 does not adequately address current and future climate change concerns. Studies have shown that the line will generate a significant amount of noise and dust pollution, which could exacerbate climate change. The construction and operation of HS2 will also create a number of other environmental problems, such as disruption to local communities, displacement of wildlife species, and destruction of greenbelt land. The project has been accused of failing to adequately consider these factors in its plans. The problems with HS2's construction. The construction of HS2 has been fraught with issues. The project has been hit by delays and overruns, with costs spiraling out of control. In 2019, the estimated cost for the project had risen to an eye-watering £100 billion, up from its initial estimated cost of £56 billion in 2015. On top of this, the construction process has been marred by a litany of scandals. In 2018, an independent review found that members of staff at HS2 Limited had made payments of up to £2 million without due diligence checks. Furthermore, there have been reports of a toxic workplace culture, with whistleblowers alleging bullying, harassment, and favoritism. The situation was further complicated in 2020 when archaeological discoveries caused further delays. A major milestone was missed in February 2020 when a planned consultation on the route was put on hold due to the range and scale of the additional findings. HS2 is now facing criticism from both sides of the aisle. MPs have accused the government of failing to keep control of costs, while environmental groups are concerned about the damage to ancient woodlands and other habitats along the route. All this raises serious questions about the future of HS2. Can the government make sure it is built within budget and with minimal disruption? Is it worth the immense financial and environmental costs? With construction unlikely to finish until 2032, these are questions that need to be answered if Britain is going to get its money's worth from HS2. The lack of transparency surrounding HS2. The government's handling of the HS2 project has been heavily criticized due to its lack of transparency. This is particularly concerning given the huge cost of the project, estimated at around £100 billion. Numerous reports have been released that outline the problems with HS2, but there is still a significant lack of clarity about what is happening with the project. The government has refused to provide details on the contracts it has signed and how much taxpayers' money is being spent. Furthermore, its lack of transparency means it cannot be held accountable for any mistakes or delays that arise during construction. The High-Speed Rail Industry Leaders Group, or HSR-ILG, has recently called for greater transparency from the government to ensure that the public knows exactly what is happening with the project. The HSR-ILG also recommends that there should be a more detailed analysis and oversight of the costs of the project so that the public can hold the government to account if costs start to spiral out of control. Unfortunately, it appears that the government has no intention of providing more information about the project. Until this changes, it will be difficult to make an informed judgment about whether or not HS2 is worth its cost. Taxpayers must know where their money is going and whether or not the project can be completed on time and within budget. Without proper accountability, it's possible that the project could end up over budget and behind schedule, leading to further waste of taxpayers' money. Additionally, there are potential environmental impacts associated with HS2 which must be considered when deciding on its viability. Any negative environmental impact should not be overlooked and should receive proper consideration as part of the decision-making process. Moreover, any decision surrounding HS2 must include proper consideration of other transport options available in the UK. For example, investing in existing infrastructure, such as improving existing rail networks, may be far more beneficial than spending large amounts of money on building new rail lines. For the UK to make a properly informed decision about HS2, there must be increased transparency regarding its plans and potential impacts. What are your thoughts on this? Do let us know in the comment section below. We'll see you in the next one.